FC, of course, wins 4-1 yesterday afternoon, I should say, against the Chicago Fire in what was arguably the worst weather I've ever seen at BMO Field. My voice is a little hoarse, and that's from all the yelling that I did with the North End guys and with Hugh Sector yesterday, and I had a lot of fun, I must say, all around. 4-1. What an absolute emphatic win that was for Toronto FC. No losses now all season at home in all competitions. The strong winds, which were, I think, measured upwards of 80 kilometers an hour yesterday, were coming from the north into the south end of the stadium. And TFC had the ball coming from the north end to the south end in the first half. And at the end of the half, they were only up 1-0. Nick LaBroca, who actually had a really good game overall yesterday, put in what he thought would be a nice cross, which turned into a wind-assisted, really nice goal. So we were up 1-0 at the half. In the second half, Jacob Peterson, who was back, of course, from injury, who looked actually pretty decent in the first half, was subbed off for O'Brien White, and lo and behold, going into the wind, 90 seconds after he came on the pitch, the ball was Barrett to White to Dero, back to White, and a beautiful emphatic finish to get really significantly ahead in the game. Chicago scored a nice goal off a free kick, I think it was, in the second half, with 35 yards out. Again, a very curling sort of wind-assisted goal, and I'm not going to give Stephen Fry too much stick about as of yet. Barrett's brace was absolutely solidly struck, and the one thing I noticed significantly about Chad Barrett yesterday vis-a-vis last year was his confidence on the ball. How many times last year, folks, did Chad Barrett actually have open breaks on net and just kind of almost look like, I should say, that he would clench up when he was in on a break. Yesterday he was cool, calm, collected, a little cheeky, which is what you kind of want, I think, in a striker from time to time. And he was good value for the 2 goals, and that really bodes well, I think, for him and for him turning into a half-decent striker for the rest of the season. Nana and Adrian Can look really solid again in central defense. Their partnership continues to improve. Usumov had a really strong game yesterday as well. Him and Dan Gargan were the left and right backs respectively, and they look pretty decent in the role. Defensively, we did a good job of shutting down Chicago's primary attacking threat, of course, EPL veteran and U.S. international Brian McBride, who really was pretty much a non-factor in the game. A couple of things that really stood out for me. One, as I mentioned, is the fact that we were only 1-0 up with the wind in the first half. And then in the second half, I don't know where that Toronto FC team came from, but they played the ball on the pitch, and a lot of tic-tac-toe, a lot of ball movement, a lot of really good sort of attacking runs into empty space. Attackers had multiple options up front, and I thought it was a fabulous result. 4-1 was real good value for the fans that came out in that rain and wind yesterday. The turf is one thing I noticed as well. I think if we still were playing with that god-awful field turf, yesterday's result wouldn't have been the way that game would have turned out. TFC might have won, Chicago might have won, it could have been a draw, who knows. But that ball control, on the carpet type approach that Toronto FC took with success yesterday afternoon, it's not the kind of game that you can play on field turf or AstroTurf. So that's one thing I noticed, which was quite interesting about the grass. The second thing I noticed about the grass is, relatively speaking, I think how great a job the groundskeepers are doing. And they're, of course, often the unsung heroes in a lot of ways. That grass really stood up to a lot of rain and to a lot of sliding tackles and a lot of use yesterday, and it looks to be growing in really well and really solidly. The drainage looked a little slippery at times, but I think that had to do with the recent moisture, not the moisture over the last day or so before the game. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on the drainage, but the pitch itself looks to be holding up really well. Now we're getting into a tough part of the season. I wrote on the blog earlier on that the month of May is going to be kind of the crucible month for TFC, when you're looking at away games in Montreal on Wednesday for the neutral night, where we can really sort of put put a stranglehold on the tournament and basically put Montreal to bed and put them out with a win and just narrow it down to the away game in Vancouver the following week. We've got Los Angeles, who's just been simply on a tear. They destroyed Seattle 4-0 on the weekend, and it's going to be quite the challenge to get anything on the road in Los Angeles based on how well they were playing offensively and defensively. Landon Donovan is a great player. Edson Buttle is a great player as well, who I think has got upwards of 10 goals already, if you can believe it. I don't think there's been a TFC striker that's gotten more than that in a season. So it's something that he's been able to do in like 6 or 7 games, which is absolutely fabulous. So we've got Montreal away on Wednesday. We've got Galaxy away next Saturday night. We've got Vancouver away, so we've got 3 road trips in like 8-9 days. We've got Vancouver away in the neutral night next week, and then we've got New England back here at home on the 22nd. So, and then I think we've got San Jose away at the end of the month. That's going to be a tough road to hoe. The home form is encouraging, but we still, I should say, as TFC, have to find some sort of way to perhaps play a little more aggressive on the road. We played aggressive, positive football yesterday. We kept the ball on the pitch. We had some good periods of possession that I don't think should be so hard to emulate away from home. BMO Field is becoming a very hard place for teams to come into. We haven't lost really, I think, since the Real Madrid game last summer. So it's becoming the fortress that we've all wanted it to become as Toronto FC fans. Now I think the deal for Preki is to find some way to take the positives from yesterday's game and put them in a bag and open them up and use them on the road over the next week to 10 days. Again, a lot more stuff coming on the blog this week, including one piece I've been struggling with that I wanted to tell you about in advance. TFC fans have often commented about how, we've had some good midfielders and we've had some bad strikers. We've had some good strikers and we've had some poor midfield play. Arguably, over the last few years, we've had some of the best midfielders that have been in MLS and some of the best midfields that have been in MLS on paper, when you're looking at the likes of Robinson, Guevara, and so on. We've got strikers like Connor Casey and Edson Buttle and Cunningham that can go away and score bunches of goals but couldn't get a look in Toronto. So there appears to be a bit of a disconnect between one and the other. Writing a little piece now trying to investigate why we haven't been able to put the pieces together, at least up to this point, the way that we possibly should have on paper. So that's going to be coming up in the next week. So good luck to TFC in the game on Wednesday, and I'll have another video blog up Wednesday night or Thursday morning after the Montreal game. Cheers, and thanks for watching.